everyone, and welcome to Checkpoint. Yeah, it's your host again, Dr. Ifoma Eze, and I'm really delighted to be before you today to present to you today's episode of Checkpoint. How have you been, and how has your day been? And I know in my heart that today we're going to be having a very swell time. As usual, before we start each program, I always take out time to say thank you, and thank you again to every one of you who makes videos to reach a wider audience. Because of your likes, your shares, your comments, our videos are reaching a wider audience, and for this we thank you so very much. So you know how we roll again. I like everyone to begin to share this video right now. Share this link to everybody you know. Share to your friends, your relations, your associates, your neighbors. Let them know that Checkpoint is on right now, and I can't wait to share with you what I have for you today on Checkpoint. It's a beautiful one, and I'm sure you're going to love it. So please share the link everywhere, and don't go anywhere, because I'll be right back with today's topic for Checkpoint. See you soon. All right, welcome back to Checkpoint. Now today on Checkpoint, I have a very beautiful topic for you, and that topic is mastering your love language. Mastering your love language. Yes, I know I have shared a video similar to this before, but just to re-emphasize it, something about repetition is that repetition gives room for retention, and because of that I'll be sharing again on how to master your love languages. Many people seem to be very confused about the concept of love languages. In fact, let me share this joke with you. One time, not so long ago, I asked somebody about his love language, and he said his love language is Yoruba. Wasn't that very funny? He did not understand the concept of love language. Some other person said, my love language is Hausa. Another person said, my love language is the English language. This is simply because they did not understand the concept of love language. You watching me now, don't tell me your own love language is Igbo. You see, I want you to understand the concept of love languages. In this season, whether it is in season or out of season, people are getting married. Everybody, almost everybody is in one kind of relationship or the other. People are getting into relationships that lead to marriage. And it is important that you understand the concept of love languages. When you understand the concept of love languages, it will be easier for you to have wonderful relationships with your spouses or with your spouse to be. So today I'll be sharing with you mastering your love languages, and you have to listen very attentively. If you have not shared this video, do me a favor. Go ahead, share this video to your friends, your relations, your associates, and your neighbors. Let them know that Checkpoint is on right now, and today we are talking about mastering your love languages. So now that we have gotten that out of the way, let's dive into the topic proper. All right, so what then are love languages? Love languages are methods, processes, ways through which people in a relationship show their love or express their love. So it is different for different people, but it has been generally grouped into 5 major groups. So the way one person shows love might not be the way this other person shows love. Now, another shade of love languages is that love languages are also the ways through which people interpret being loved. So while love languages are methods and processes through which people show love, it also describes the ways through which people receive or interpret love being shown to them. It is so important that you understand this concept, because I am always of the opinion, and I say it every time I get the chance, that it is wisdom to love your spouse the way your spouse wants to be loved. Many of us go ahead and we love people the way we feel the person should be loved, but in actual terms, it's not supposed to be so. You love a person the way the person wants to be loved, because the way we interpret love is all different. Especially, it might have to do with our upbringing, our background, our experiences, our temperaments. These things make it difficult for us to accept love in the same way. It also makes it difficult for us to express love in the same way. So we need to understand that in loving our spouses, in loving the people we're in a relationship with while working towards marriage, we need to understand that there is a certain way through which they understand love. There is a certain way that they want to be loved, and you cannot afford to insist and say, oh, you must, this is how I show love, this is how I express love, and you have to understand it that this is me showing you love. It does not work like that. Now, I've had cases and cases of husbands in particular, buying stuff for their wives, foodstuffs, making sure the groceries are there, making sure that there is enough money in the house, and they're like, what else does she want? She's comfortable, she has all that she needs, and they're saying, this is my proof, this is the way I show to her that I really love her. And the wives are complaining, my husband doesn't love me, my husband doesn't care, my husband doesn't reach out to me, and the husbands cannot make sense of it, because if I bought all of these things, if I gave all of these things, they are indications of my love. So why is she saying that I don't love her? Now, this is the solution to your problem. In case you are out there, you have been in a relationship where somebody did not feel loved, it is possible you do not understand their love language. So today, I'll be sharing very deeply with you on love languages. This will help you greatly to understand how to express your love and what love means to the person you are in a relationship with. Now, I'd like you to do this. As I begin to explain each and of the concept of love languages, please take note of what I'm sharing so that you can apply it into your own relationship. Now, let me say this. All of us can never be the same. All of us can never interpret love the same way. All of us can never express love the same way. And the fact that there are different love languages does not mean that you just need to have one. So, for some person, your love language might not just be one. Your love language might just be a major of one, a minor of another one, and then little fragments of the third one. So it does not mean that you necessarily have to have just one love language. No, just the way that I am a person, I can speak English, I can speak Igbo, I can speak Pidgin, this is the same me, but I can speak 3 different languages. Now, it is possible that I speak one majorly and then I have fragments of the other ones. In the same way, when it comes to love languages, you might have one major love language and then have other minor love languages. So take note of the ones that appeal to you the most and the ones that appeal to you less. So in what we're sharing today, it is possible that you might have 75% of one major love language, and then you have 20% of another love language, and then you could have 5% of another love language. So you need to know in what measures you have each as a love language, and this will help you to build your relationships very, very well. So let's dig in as I begin to show you the 5 different love languages that we have. Are you ready? All right. So please let me know in the comment section. If I mention your own love language, let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the ways through which you actually love being loved, right? And with this, you let your spouse or your fiancé know how you should be loved. Is that okay? All right, so let's dig deep into it. Number 1 love language I'd like to be sharing with you today is the love language called words of affirmation. Words of affirmation. Now, words of affirmation deals basically with you expressing love through verbal words, like you saying something. It could be verbal words of appreciation, it could be compliments, it could be kind words, it could be encouragement and support that comes through words. You see, we are all wired differently, and I would honestly say that for most individuals, words get to them. So if you find out that your spouse or your fiancé or fiancée, somebody you're in a relationship with, that words get across to them quite easily, that gives you an indication that they would likely be people who feel loved through words of affirmation. So words of affirmation has to do with verbal words. Okay, so sometimes it could be also a bit of non-verbal cues that also show that you really love the person. And as the words and as it says, affirmation, it means that you are encouraging, you are comforting, you are acknowledging this person. You are not invalidating them, you're not invalidating their feelings. These are ways through which you know that you are actually giving him or her words of affirmation. Now, it is important to note that it is possible that your own love language, which means that the way you receive love, is words of affirmation. That does not mean that the way you also give out love will be words of affirmation. So don't say, oh, my love language is love, words of affirmation, but that may be how you receive love, but it may not really be how you give out love. Okay, in this instance, it could even be how you receive love, but when it is time to give out or express love, you need to understand that the person you are in a relationship with or the person you are married to does not receive words through your own means, which means that you have to learn and you have to adapt another method through which you can communicate love to that spouse of yours, all right, or that husband or wife of yours. So you need to understand the concept. When it comes to love languages, I said at the beginning that it has to do with the ways through which we express love and the ways through which we accept or receive love. So you need to understand that it is possible that I, as an individual, I receive love through words of affirmation, but that does not mean that my spouse also needs words of affirmation. So it is important to be sensitive to love your spouse the way your spouse wants to be loved. I cannot say this more than necessary. Love your spouse the way your spouse wants to be loved. Love your husband the way your husband wants to be loved. Love your wife the way your wife wants to be loved. Love that fiancé or fiancée the way they want to be loved. Don't love them the way you think that they should be loved. This is where the problem emanates all the time. So you have to be sensitive enough to understand your own language and love language, and equally understand their own love language. So words of affirmation has to do with saying words like, I love you, I appreciate you, you are the best that has happened in my life. Because you are in my life, things are going smoothly. I can't wait for when we get to the top of the goals or plans or visions that we have for our life. Because you are in it, I have confidence that I can succeed. I am dreaming about the future we'll have together. These are words of affirmation. You can go on and on and on and insert your own sweet, delicious words into it, because it is different for different people, and that's what we have on words of affirmation. Is that okay? All right, please let me know if words of affirmation is your thing, or it is the thing or love language of the person you're in a relationship with. All right, so let's talk about the next love language, and the next love language is what I call quality time. Quality time. When we talk about quality time, what do we really mean? Quality time simply means that you have to express love to the person you are in a relationship with by spending undivided time, giving them undivided attention, because you love this person. So you are doing everything that you can to spend meaningful time together with this person. So you're giving this person your undivided attention. You are spending meaningful time with him or her because you want to show them through your presence. Now, let me tell you something about quality time. Many people, or some people, would be on their phone, on social media, and they're pressing their phone, chatting with friends, checking the views and the likes that they have on their post. And some others are reading text messages and replying. And because they are in the same vicinity with their spouse, they assume that because they are there, because of the proximity, they assume that they are actually giving quality time to their spouse. But the answer is nada. So no, that's not how it is done. It is important that when you choose to honor and love your spouse or the person you're in a relationship with, you have to honor them. When it has to do with quality time, you have to honor them intentionally by spending on very quality time with them, meaningful time with them, and also giving them your undivided attention. Some people can be so glued to the television set, they're either watching a movie or watching a series, and they assume that because they're in the same room that they are having quality time. That is by no means a quality time. Quality time, the key words in quality time is: number one, undivided attention; number two, meaningful time spent together. So number one is undivided attention, number two is meaningful time spent together. At any given point where your spouse or your fiance or fiance understands that you have given them undivided attention, or they feel that you have spent meaningful time with them, that is the point where we can say that quality time has been given. Quality time has been given. So this is so important. Make sure that your quality time is truly quality time. See, it is not just time, it is not just long time, it is quality time, which means that the strength of that time, the strength of this love language is not in its quantity, but it's in its quality. So it is not quantity time, it is quality time. So don't give your spouse quantity time without quality time. So this quality time might have some quantity, right? But don't make it quantity without quality. And this is very key. Now let's talk about number 3, love language. Remember, we've talked about number 1, words of affirmation. We've talked about number 2, quality time. Now we want to talk about number 3, that is gifts. All right, gifts. So another love language is receiving gifts or giving gifts. Remember, I said that love languages have to do with the way through which you express love and the way through which you receive love. So for some people, when they want to show that they love you, they give. And I believe that when it comes to giving, there is this general rule that whenever there is love, there is giving. So which means that you can give without loving, but you can never love without giving. Let me say this again. You can give without loving, but you can never love without giving. Wherever there is love, there is giving. So you see, when people are in love, they want to share. They want to share their life. They want to share their money. They want to share their belongings. They want to share their love. They want to share by giving. So whenever there is love, there is what? Giving. But for this particular class of people, this is how they understand love, all right? When they want to express love, they give. When they want to receive love, they expect gifts. So you have to ask yourself, which category do you belong to? I've already shared 3. All right. I said the first one is words of affirmation. The second one is quality time. This third one is receiving gifts or giving gifts. So you have to understand how does this mean to you. There are people who have said that the time they felt loved the most was when they received a special gift. I believe that when it comes to gifts as a love language, most times it does not really matter the category or the price of the gifts. So it is not in the gifts being very expensive per se. It is the fact that this person remembered me, thought of me, and he or she went out and bought me a gift that they felt I needed. You see, this is what spells love for them. So for such categories of people, their focus is not on the cost of the gift, right? It is not on how expensive the gift is. The focus is on the fact that you even thought of them. So do you understand it now? So that's what I've been trying to explain to you, that when you recognize that the person you're in a relationship with or the spouse you are married to is the kind of person who loves gifts, make sure that it's not just about the cost, it's about the thoughtful gift, the gift that shows that you are thinking about them, and the gift that shows that you are paying attention to what is going on with them, the gift that shows that you care about their worries, about their challenges, about their complaints, the gift that shows that you are observant, that you feel what they are feeling. This is how you know that you have done a very good job at understanding the love language of your spouse. Now let me know in the comment section what you think so far of everything I've shared on the love languages, the 3 love languages I've shared already. Let me know what you think on each of them. So what's your thought? What is your own love language? Let me ask you. And what is the love language of your spouse? Do you know it already? All right, keep searching in case you've not found it, because I have 2 more that I'll need to share with you so that you understand the differences in love languages. Remember, I said that love languages are the ways through which you express love and also the way through which you receive love. This is how you understand love to be. So I'll be sharing with you the number 4 love language that you should master. Remember, I was talking about mastering love languages. So the number 4 love language that you should master is the love language called the acts of service. Acts of service. Now, why is this acts of service? It simply means that you are demonstrating love by taking up tasks or helping with tasks or doing things that makes the life of your spouse or partner easy. So you are taking up tasks, you are doing chores, you are cleaning up things, you are taking up responsibilities that make his or her life easier. So it is basically something they would have done for themselves, or they would have paid somebody else to do, or they would have not been comfortable without it, but you choose to make sure that you are available to do it for them. You know, when you have acts of service as the love language, you are delighted when he or she does anything for you, when he or she goes out of their way to help you do something, or when your spouse, your husband or wife does something for you physically. Maybe it could be washing your car, maybe it could be cleaning up the house, it could be taking the garbage out, it could be washing off stuff that needed to be washed off, it could be just a whole lot. It could be helping you to submit that proposal, helping you to finish up your presentation slide. There are lots and lots of ways through which you can really assist your spouse. So if you know that your spouse is the type that has a love language called acts of service, oh boy, oh lady, go ahead and serve them. Show them that you love them. Demonstrate the love that you have for them through taking up this task or chores or assignments or duties that they would ordinarily have done, or they would have paid somebody else to do for them. So that is it about acts of service. In acts of service, it is a doing kind of love. It is a love that is a way through which you love somebody and you do something to tell the person that you love him or her. So if you love me, do something. If you love me, if I love you, I will do something for you. So you get it. If you love me, do something for me. If I love you, I'll do something for you. That's the language of acts of service. So acts of service could be taking out the plate after each meal. It could be dressing up the room. It could be taking care of the bed, making sure that everywhere is clean and span. It could be folding the clothes. It could be doing the laundry. It could be washing off all the plates. Acts of love is a doing kind of love. So it is a verb. It's an action word. You have to do something in order to either show somebody that you love them or accept the love that they have for you. All right, so let me share the 5th one and the last one for today on mastering your love languages. So the 5th love language is what I call physical touch. When it comes to physical touch, for a husband and wife, or for people who are already in relationship, might have physical touch as their love language, but because they want to honor God with their body, because they love God so much more than worldly pleasures, they are willing to put this on hold. It's important for them to keep their bodies until they get married. Okay, so but for those who are married, there are no limitations to how you can express this kind of love language. So for physical touch, for those who are married, take note, for those who are married, it has to do with proximity, making your spouse feel loved through your physical closeness, through kisses, through holding of hands, through hugs, through physical affection. these are the ways through which you show your spouse that you love them, and this is how you also receive love. So for those who are married, this is a very serious love language for them. But in recent times, I discovered that there are people who are married, though they are married, they do not have this as a very strong love language. So it's important that you know what works for you. And this is why I don't teach this particular subject to just those who are married. I also teach it to those who are not yet married. The reason is so that you understand before you go into marriage if this is for you or not. Do you know that there is a lady that her only, in fact, her major love language is physical touch, but then she just got married to somebody who hates physical touch at all. Like, he hates it passionately. So how did it start? He was an orphan. He lived in a convent, all right, with some reverend mothers, and that was how he was raised. So because there were so many children in the orphanage, he didn't really get to receive hugs or be carried and stuff like that. So he just hated being touched. There was no reason for him to be touched. From a very tender age, he started bathing himself, so there was no room for anybody to hug him or touch him. And then when he got married and he began to feel that his wife was too clingy, and they had lots and lots of issues, because he does not understand why he needs to hug his wife or kiss his wife if they were not planning to make children. So making babies was the only logical reason why he felt that he needed to hug his wife or kiss his wife. And then this became a problem in their relationship. Now the wife is saying, oh, I expect this to be like a daily aspect of our lives, and he is saying, oh no, I don't want you anywhere around me. Just stay on your own, I'll stay on my own. I need space. You are suffocating me, you are not allowing me to breathe properly. And this became a problem. On further investigation, I was able to find out the secret behind this attitude, the secret behind this behavior. And through counsel, I had to start explaining to him that what you had was I'm not invalidating your feelings or your experiences, but it is real. But however, you need to understand that your spouse needs to be loved the way she wants to be loved, and you do not get to decide for your spouse the way she should be loved. So with lots and lots of teaching and counseling and therapy sessions, he was able to come around and understand that this was what his wife needed to feel loved. And he truly, truly loved his wife. So he was willing to work on it. In some cases and in some climes where the person is not willing to work on it, that will certainly be the end of that marriage. But he was willing to work on it, and then they eventually had a very beautiful marriage. So what am I saying here? You need to understand that there are different love languages. For this particular physical touch, you have to know that this is what your spouse thrives on. If you want to show him or her that you love him or her, you have to hug them a lot, you have to hold their hands. Even people who have this as a love language, they love PDAs a lot. PDAs are public displays of affection. So they want to be held in public, they want to be kissed in public, they want to be hugged in public and stuff like that. And of course, not everything will be done in public, but for the majority of them, they want public displays of affection. So you have to figure this things out at the stage of not being married, before you get married. The essence of this is that it will help you to know if you are actually compatible in the area of your love languages, because if you are not, you would have a lot of difficulty receiving love and accepting love, because this is not your own understanding of love. Let's bear this in mind, that all of us are coming from different backgrounds, and because you're coming from different backgrounds, what love means to me will not be what love means to you. Now, communication will bridge this gap. Communication will help you understand what does love mean to you. As a matter of fact, if you are watching me right now and you are in any relationship, I'd like you to go to the person who you're in a relationship with and ask this person this pertinent question: what does love mean to you? On a day that you feel loved up, what shows up in that day? Out of this, using these 5 models or these 5 love languages, explain to me which of these make you feel more loved than the others. And when you find out which of them makes you feel more loved than the others, it will help you to streamline your communication. So you are able to communicate, this is what makes me feel loved. This is something that is key, especially for those who have entered into a relationship. You need to figure this out before you actually do get married. So here we've been able to discuss the 5 different love languages. We talked about words of affirmation, we talked about quality time, we talked about receiving gifts, we talked about acts of service, and we talked about physical touch. And all of these things are the different ways through which we express or we receive love. Find out what is unique to you and keep to it. So whether it be any of those things, just feel free. There are so many examples other than, so if it's words of affirmation, just tell them nice things, tell them sweet things, call them very endearing names, all right? Endearing names that are sweet, tell them nice things, send them a text, a lovely message on WhatsApp, a lovely post, and say some nice things about them. If it is quality time, cancel out some appointments and be present with him or her, and make out time, make sure that date nights are compulsory. Make out time for lunch dates, intentionally make out time to be present with him or her. And if it is it has to do with receiving or giving gifts, give them money, all right? Give them gifts, package gifts creatively, all right? Give them something to unbox, give them something give them like a surprise gift, something that will make them scream and shout for joy. Surprise them with gifts. Give them leave gifts in their bags, in their boxes, something that they get to see at sudden times, and they're like, what is this? And they open it and it's a thoughtful gift from you. Think through before you give them a gift. Make sure that you notice what they are going through, and you know that a particular gift like that can really make them feel loved. Be thoughtful about the gifts that you are given. And if it is about acts of service, make sure that you help them in ways that make them feel loved. Maybe this thing, somebody has been, your spouse or husband or wife has been trying to fix a particular drainage system, or try to fix a particular fan, or has been trying to work out on a particular slide for presentation, or they've been trying to fix the room or clean the room or do chores. Just be thoughtful in that area. In fact, every one of these gifts, every one of these love languages involves thoughtfulness. Every one of these love languages involves lots and lots of thoughtfulness. So be thoughtful about it, think through, and make sure you are available for them. And if it is physical touch, just make sure you cleave to your husband, cleave to your wife. And if you're not yet married, wait, because this particular love language is really much for those who are married. Because if you begin to practice this kind of love language when you're not yet married, you find yourself in a place where you guys don't want to find yourselves yet. So the book of Songs of Solomon said, don't awaken love until it is time. So these are the few things I decided to share with you today on Checkpoint. I hope it was a huge blessing to you, and I hope it makes your relationship blossom and makes you a happier person. I am really rooting for you, and I know that you would love. You enjoy love like it should be enjoyed. Love is to be enjoyed, not to be endured. Until I come your way again, keep making a positive, indelible mark in the lives of people and on the sands of time. I love you so very much. Bye-bye for now. Mwah.
Everyone, I hope you are blessed by that message. All right, so I want you to just go ahead and support us. If you are led, go ahead and just sow into the account right on the screen. And I know that as you do that, God will bless you big time. Because of the seeds you are sowing, you will be able to reach a wider audience on different platforms. So please do well to sow that seed, and God will bless you. Love you.